So I'm not the boss, and I love the new song, but I do have some feedback. So earlier this week on Wednesday, Bruce Springsteen released a new song called "The Streets of Minneapolis," inspired by the murder of Alex Preddy and Renee Good by ICE agents in that city. And it's quickly become the number one song on most streaming services, and I can't confirm where this data came from, but supposedly it's also the number one song in like 19 other countries. It's a great song. I keep listening to it. It's a classic in the genre of American folk musicians like Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger. Actually, I'm not a big fan of Bruce Springsteen in general, but my favorite album of his is We Shall Overcome, which has all of these renditions of his songs in this genre. And this is a kind of classic folk ballad element here. We have visceral imagery of blood in the snow and people power against the boots and lies of the government. But in that classic folk tradition, I want to suggest a couple of changes to those who take this song into the streets. So first, it would be nice to have a verse specifically about what happened to Renee Good. The boss says he wrote this right after Preddy's death, so that was like top of his mind. But the folk musicians out there could easily write a few lines about what happened to Good. But I'm more committed to changing the chorus, because in the chorus, there's a line that says, "We take a stand for this land and the strangers in our midst." And I know there's plenty of discourses about the stranger in philosophy and ethics and political theory, but I would not call the people that rapid responders are protecting strangers. Frankly, that sounds a little bit more like what Stephen Miller and Noam might say about them to justify sort of ICE brutality. These are our friends, our neighbors. As the Sesame Street song says, they're the people that we meet when we're walking down the street. They're the people we meet each day. So I would suggest future renditions instead say, "We take a stand for this land, for our neighbors and their kids." And this would also be a nod to one of the other headline-grabbing people in Minneapolis, 5-year-old Liam Ramos, who ICE agents used as bait against his father to get his father out of the house. And now they've both been shipped down to a detention center in El Paso, where the fascists are trying to deport him and his father, despite both of them having protection orders. So again, I'm not the boss, but if I were, those would be my notes. So thanks.